Okay, we are live. Greetings. Thank you for joining us on the Global Prayer Project for this week. It's been a wild week out there. But, you know, the Global Prayer Project is really a kind of enterprise, a joining together that we can all do. And there are a lot of key missions in the world out there. All of us are moving into a mission that creates the right timeline in the world and corrects a lot of the corruption. But joining in meditations, prayers that go out into the world is something that we can all do. And it I believe is something that's very, very important. The more we understand spirituality, the more we understand our connection together, the oneness in consciousness that is built into our existence on this planet and in the world completely. Once we understand it and utilize it, that's a real surge, and when complete, will be a great kind of unifying moment in the world. But the way we get there is we practice it, we utilize it, we understand that it's a reality. We do mind meld, so to speak. We merge with consciousnesses with other people. It's how we truly communicate. That's why people sometimes finish other people's sentences. There's that's a kind of understanding beyond the words that happens. That's what makes cultures work. It's what defines the difference in group organizations, political parties. It's just out there everywhere to see, and now that we're starting to utilize that to communicate, it makes all the difference. And again, there's this great rising in consciousness occurring. Some of it is physical, galactic. Some of it is that we're just growing into, year by year, a greater understanding that we live in a spiritual universe, not just a material one. Material thinking is a kind of a delusion. Deepak has always called it materialism, that lowering of consciousness into and pretending there's nothing spiritual going on, as a superstition. And it's all with all superstitions, we're able to move past that. And it's a thrilling time in spite of all the challenges. And this rise in consciousness that's occurring, in part, is occurring because of what the materialistic world is doing. And sometimes I call that the dark side. I call it the side interested in greed and control. But what they're doing is exercising more and more control and power through controlling the news media, essentially. But what's going on is that shock that they would be doing that, and the fact that the reason they think they can get away with that is that their consciousness is also rising. It's just not out of ego yet, and the ego consciousness. The only definition of the dark side that we need really is that it's in great insecurity and great fear, just from the largeness of life itself. And what happens there is that people get together, organize in order to control, because it's more control, actually seizing the energy of other people's consciousness and directing them, is a kind of experience of energy. It's ego energy, but it's as close as the dark side can get right now. And it's a something that they feel, along with the collection of more and more money, because money itself is thought to bring security, inner security, and certainly the power of manipulating the economy, and so you can see what's happening now. As they go up in consciousness, they actually believe that what they're doing is the best way to unify humanity. Is to just make everybody do it. Of course, that's not sociologically valid, of course, because people resist being controlled. So with that, just understand that we feel clamped down at a time when consciousness is generally going up in the world, because the dark side is more honest about what they're doing, and they think that that's the best thing to do. And again, but spiritually, it is controlling, self-limiting, and it jolts the rest of us. The people that are interested in consciousness, it jolts us. But what it jolts us out of is our everyday routine that we pursue, and everyday pleasures and everyday obsessions and our little feel-good activities. Knocks us out of that. And what happens when you get knocked out of that kind of materialistic way of feeling good? We get opened up to spirituality, to the great questions of life. And we get to prove to ourselves that spirituality is real by tuning in, eventually discovering our intuitive intelligence and the guidance intuitively that comes from that. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. What comes from this connection, the spiritual connection? How do we prove to ourselves that it works? And the perfect example of this sort of discovery of spiritual reality and that brings a kind of mastery is the interpersonal ethic. And that's the 8th insight in the Celestine Prophecy, but it's experientially available to everybody. In other words, you may have talked about that just mentally, that insight, but it's a energetic alignment that we make that is the interpersonal ethic, and that feels different. So in the discussion, what I'd like to do is just talk about how this giving of energy to feel connected spiritually is the interpersonal ethic and the best way to stay connected in our spiritual intelligence. Let's put it that way. And all that goes with that, high-speed inspiration and all kinds of creative intuitions for ourselves. That's the life we're looking for. That's the life that we're designed and wired for. Okay, so it all comes together in this interpersonal ethic once we adopt it. Now, the interpersonal ethic, which you can do anytime, anywhere, while you're doing other activities, all kinds of things. That's important. But it's not everything we should be doing to tune in spiritually, because the basic opening happens the fastest in a regular, engaged prayer meditation practice. So I always go back to that, and we've talked about it before, but it's very simple. What you're practicing in meditation is, and this is, realize there's more meditation going on in the world than ever before. I think that some meditations stay too mental, and I'll talk about that in a second. But that meditation, what meditation does in general is quiet the mind, because the whole idea is to catch yourself with all the chatter and control drama talk and all the kinds of things that come into our minds when we try to be quiet. You know, we try to just meditate and this calm our minds completely. And the practice in every kind of meditation is to let go of the chatter, come back to the quiet mind. Because, and as you do that over time, what occurs is a larger quiet mind and a more tuned in quiet mind. And what we get again is our intuitive intelligence. We get thoughts and ideas that are meant to guide our lives forward and to solve problems. In other words, it's the intelligence that gives us help. And of course, they feed the way we take action in the world. And what happens is these intuitions put us in the place to have a synchronicity, a mysterious coincidence that opens up an opportunity that we're waiting for in life, or a solution that we're waiting for in life. So we get help both ways. But what's also important, and I think that's where we're remembering to go to in meditation, and that is we also have to quiet our emotions, right? Because our emotions are always one of three. You know, it's either anxiety, it's either anger, or it's the hurts that we can't get over that people have done, we think, to us. So those are the three normal problem emotions that pop up for everyone. The solution to those everyday problem emotions that knock us out of our flow and depress us is to remember the master emotion, and that's agape love as a state. And forgive me if you've been in on other talks about this, but I think it's very important to remind everyone new who's coming on board here. Agape love is our master emotion, right? So in meditation practice, we have to not just quiet the mind, but catch all these other emotions, lower emotions that might be coming up, and letting them go as well, long enough to intend to connect with our master emotion. And that's agape love. It's a state of love. We've all loved something in our lives. I mean, with a deep emotion. And so it's the emotion of love. It's the state of love without any object at all. So it's just where we want to be and so in meditation, what occurs is that we have we have access to this agape love. It's the peace that surpasses all understanding. It's in every mystical or esoteric scripture around all the religions in the world. It's there. It's available. It's the comforter in Christian thinking. So what's important, though, is to for at least the 20 minutes, let those emotions go and come back to that agape love. Every time one pops up, come back to agape love. And what opens up is this peace, agape love. And for those of you who think it's the world's too hard and conflicted to talk about love. This love's too mushy. It's not powerful enough. It is the most powerful emotional state that we can be in, because all that intuitive guidance comes in with it. It's the full connection that we want to experience. Again, the more meditation in the world, we want it to be more heart-centered meditation over time. And I think each of us can prove to ourselves that uh, moving, remembering, and then enlarging agape love connection is the most powerful state of being that we can be in. What then happens is that we get the whole package over time in meditation, opening up our intuitions, and that's wonderful. Meditation gets stronger and stronger, and people get just where they want to be in meditation a lot of the time in their lives. But what about the rest of the time? The rest of the time, you're in everyday action. And everyday action, brings up these reactions that we have by habit. So in order to practice staying in spiritual connection all of the time, we can use the interpersonal ethic. Again, it's described in the 8th insight of the Celestine Prophecy. This is a mysterious experience. And I want to just describe how to conjure it up, how to bring it into to your consciousness. You're already wired for it, but you can bring it into your consciousness in the everyday hustle of life. And what's that do? That allows us to stay completely connected and deal with all that we have to deal with in life. So here's the general description of this interpersonal ethic. First is to, wherever you are, whatever conversation you may be having, whatever deadline you're under, you remember to get back in contact with that connection that you're finding in meditation, where all of a sudden you can quiet your mind, you could hear these intuitive guidances come in, but you also are in the state of love. Agape love is just a state. And the first thing you do is you just try to connect in that same way. You can usually come back to it, just pull out of the world just a minute and connect there. Feel that love. Feel that quiet mind. Feel that the intuition coming in. And then also, what happens in meditation over time is the hearing or the feeling of inspiration energy. This love connection becomes an inspired kind of love connection. And it comes out of that opening of the intuitive intelligence. So what we're trying to do then is center in this connection, but remembering these moments of inspiration, right? Because inspiration energy is just the way you're connected, right? That's what's so important to put together. This inspiration energy is the way you feel when you connect intuitively and you stay in agape love. So you get this inspiration energy that there's something you're supposed to be doing here. The world is not dead, cold, and unforgiving. It's spiritually helpful. It'll make your dreams come true if you stay aligned with the methods that we're talking about. So first, in this interpersonal ethic practice, what you do is you get all that, but especially the love-oriented inspiration energy of something to do, right? And because that shows on your face. I know that people, you've had these conversations, they get into their inspiration energy and they look different, right? So what you do is you connect, you begin to experience and feel this inspiration energy, then you visualize and intend. Remember, intentions matter. Intentions are so much more powerful than most people know still. So you intend and kind of a little visualization of this connection filling you up and spilling out over onto the world. And this is especially important to do with groups of people. And in general, you can just spill it out over is what we do in the global project, prayer project. But what we've got to do is really do it every day, all day, because it keeps us connected every day, all day. So let that sink in, because this is not a mental construct. You know, this is not something you think and talk about. This is something that you do because you can feel it. So what you do is you visualize this energy coming up in you and out, right? And that's important, because what happens is it comes into you first and spills out to other people, and that's what keeps you up high, full of this energy and connected spiritually all the time. So again, the interpersonal ethic is to then project, and that's not the right word, is to visualize and intend for this energy. It's really kind of auric energy field that goes out in front of you into the world and acts to uplift everyone that feels this, because they're wired for it already, and we're contagious to each other because it's, you know, we share minds. So the uplifting effect makes a difference. And sometimes if you're just one-on-one with someone and you do this, what occurs is that you have to sort of look for it at first. If you start looking then there's in the image of their face, this expression of inspiration energy, then sometimes the people just pop up into it, and you'll see this big inspiration energy, and their whole consciousness shifts into what we're discussing here, where they get in touch with their mission in life and their flow of synchronicity and all that comes with that, because they're instantly tasting this connection. Maybe they can't stay in it, but what you've done is given a gift to everyone. And if you have to, say, give a talk to 100 people or 1,000 people, or if you need to address any kind of group, even in writing, that's the way to keep yourself up and connected as you do this creative work. So I think you understand how it keeps us connected in the everyday challenges of life. So to me, it's one of those things. If everybody were practicing it, the world would completely shift overnight, instantaneously. And that's what's occurring. As more people feel consciousness, they'll begin to start to give it away, to have it reverberate with each other, to keep both people more and more in a spiritual connected state. It'll elevate the vibrations of our bodies, obviously toward the ninth insight. So again, let me just sum up that this is something that we can do anytime, but you have to feel all the feelings that I just described. But it's life-changing. It's immediately transformational. It's something you maintain and can keep in all challenges. And if you do so, then you're connected with your highest guiding intuition. Remember, you'll know what to say. You'll know what to do. You'll know how to present the goals in life to other people that you want to see happen. That's our creative genius that's coming out with spiritual consciousness and understanding how to maintain this consciousness. So again, that's our discussion. I hope all of you try it every day, make it a part of your life. I believe that it's already out there, kind of being done unconsciously. When we start to all do it consciously, that's when things will happen. So again, thank you for your attention. I think our mission today with the Global Prayer Project, though, is to move everybody, and we've done some of this before, but this whole prayer meditation, this global reach and uplifting, for today is going to be just about inspiration energy, because it's so definitive of whether you're tuned into your intuitive help in life, those intuitions that guide us. Because without that, we wouldn't know how to get started, what to do day to day. So let's just come together, and what we're going to do is intend. We're going to fill up first with this connected energy, and then intend that people all around the world are lifted into a place where they can at least glimpse that inspiration energy that is our birthright. Because that first glimpse, I can remember mine. First, wow. That's for everybody. And we can all, no matter what we're doing, no matter what we want to do, that is an empowering thing for people to get in touch with. So let's just start to be quiet and inside, and just take a few breaths. Let's just really feel ourselves getting fully connected. And move into this connection with the one God of love, the one expression of creativity in the universe. Let's just feel it in our hearts, feel our hearts opening into this agape love state. Let's intend that we're going to let this connection, this agape love state, flow out of us, spilling over into the world. Just feel that state, that connection, knowing that we can share it. We can just intend that it flow out and it lift people into their own glimpse of their inspiration, their own embodiment of this love-derived work or creation that they are here to do on the planet. Let's just feel it just a moment more, fully connected, feeling our own inspiration energy, our own inspiration at participating in this. You might even be getting your intuitive intelligence opening during this, and you realize your inspirations, where inspiration energy is taking you, wants to take you toward what you are supposed to be doing here. Just let that come. Let that come, but also it's a package that we're going to let overflow and drop out into the world, begin to flow out into all the houses and housing and people directly around us, wherever we are, all over the world. Let's just visualize everyone that this wave is hitting, just opening up, taking a moment, and really sort of experiencing something, an inspiration about their lives. And let's just keep it flowing out even further into your town or community, hitting everybody, reaching everybody, young, old, whether they're awake or asleep. And let's just see it moving on further into the province or the state in which you live. Hundreds, even millions more people. Just see it moving into everyone and seeing that light on their face, each of them glowing in this moment where they get connected to their inspired life, what their life could be. And just keep on going. Let's go into our nations fully, millions now, touching millions now. All of our nations, all over the world. Let's just keep with this. Pour this heart love into it. Just move forward into all the countries of the world now, all around the world. All these waves from each of us are splashing together, reaching everybody on the planet, billions of people now, asleep, awake, wherever they are. And let's just visualize and intend and affirm that people are being touched. Some part of them, some part of their inspired consciousness is peeking in, are fully coming in. Billions of people experiencing this. Let's just hold it now. Just be with it all. Unification around this connection all over the world happening. So feel the unification. There are only souls. The soul knows, the soul can merge, the soul has no doubts. So at the soul level, we can all be one. Let's just feel it happening. And a kind of reverberation occurring. All the people, all of us. And just let it go off planet. Into the solar system. Into our galaxy. Touching all life. And then into the universe. Again, touching all life. Let's just hold this. See if you can get a little bit more opening of the heart. Yes, a little more open. See it reverberating all over the universe. Let's hold it one more moment. And now just begin to leave it out there, fix it, establish it, leave the heart open as long as you possibly can, days, weeks, months, years, lifetime. Leave it open, keep that connection out into the universe. Take one more breath or two, and then let's open our eyes. So, was that fun or what? It's a great demonstration of connection, of what happens in connection. And it happened with us because we were giving it away. So to stay connected, one more time, remember that you can do this. Just silently do it whenever you feel like you're losing your connection or the problem emotion is starting to come in. And just go back to the connection and the agape love and give it away. Give it away. It's the maybe most important actual tactic that exists in the Celestine Prophecy, other than maybe meditation, because it can keep us connected. And remember, we have 3 generations in play, 3 of the larger generations in play right now, and that means college students, millennials, baby boomers, and we're all one, we're all together. But especially the younger generations, so glad to have so many people of those 2 earlier generations on board and helping us with this, because it is a unifying principle. Millennials want to unify and not to push divisions, but to unify and unify around the values they want. And I believe that more and more millennials are valuing spiritual consciousness because it's as good as it gets, right? And it's happening as well with the Z generation. I hope they'll name themselves something else soon. But it's college students recently out of college and finishing high school, that group. They are wide open. They are wide open, confident, in spite of everything. So they've had the most abuse from the medical system, I'd say. But I believe they're breaking free to pursue spirituality and all that comes with that. So we're all together, it's one. And again, I think there's this greater consciousness is happening on the planet. It's because so many people are meditating, so many people realize the material world, is not reliable. It's not really what we live in. It's just the subset that people use to make people believe that in fear, come into fear, that this is the only life there is, the life of authorities bringing their demands upon us. And again, consciousness breaks free, and that's what the counter reaction to what's happening, I think, is. It's the best way to move forward in life from where we are right now. Hating people who control just put you over in the control of the dark side, right? And that gets bigger. You make it bigger with hate. We're not at war with anybody. We're in the replacement business. We're replacing a very insecure materialism on the planet with a total secure spiritual connection that is real and can be proved to everyone by themselves, for themselves. Our understanding now of spirituality is beyond, well, it's just the great unknown. No, it's the great known. And that's very, very important. So again, thank you for participating. Tell everybody about it. If you love this kind of conversation, check out what we're doing on CelestineVision.com. Google my name, it'll come up. We have a active community that where there's talk about that. I'm doing a course in the community. It's donation oriented. And we also have not counseling, but coaching. If you need to make a breakthrough in some direction that you want to do fast and quickly, that's available. But again, what we're doing now is one of the best things we can possibly do for the world, I believe, because the more we amplify consciousness, the more people move into consciousness. So we, again, are in the replacement business, not fighting on the dark side. We're hoping to have them move over into the light side. So again, thanks for participating, and I'll see you next time.